Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server. We're going to be looking at the new mythical champions and I guess getting the first impressions. I am going to stream for a bit tonight as well, where we can do a bit more testing as I guess you guys want us to. So we can do a whole bunch of maximum damage tests and that type of stuff. But on the server, on the test server, there's no way at the moment to get Primal Quartz. So I can't even be looking at any additional ways they're looking to do this. But it's definitely up there with the rare champions coming out. Do we even have the drop rates? Yes, we do. So it is a 0.5% chance to get a mythical champion from a primal shard. It's a 1% chance to get a legendary. So they're slightly better than an ancient shard right now for legendaries. Yeah, it's basically as if it was like a 2 times was on a ancient shard. So you get double chance to get the epics, double chance to get the legendaries versus an ancient shard. But obviously, we don't know how plentiful these shards are right now. And chances are they're not going to be that plentiful at all. So it's the 0.5. It's the 1 in 200 shot of getting one of these bad boy champions when they do come through. Let's take a look at them. There's a few things already that I've been looking at thinking I wish they'd change it. And they might still do it, honestly. Like, we're feeding back as a group right now, and this is obviously a new area for Raid, but let's have a quick look through them. This is probably my favorite one, like, visually. I really like this look of a champ, especially when we get like absolute decent change coming through here and she becomes part of the tree. I am Groot. Now you'll see as we change, stats change as well. So she's incredibly fast in her kind of like normal form. But when she changes, she loses 15 of that speed. Some of the other stats tweak as well. Also, the skills go from being like attack-based. On this one, is it different? Yeah, HP-based. So they're going to be very difficult to build, honestly, because you're going to need so many stats to make different builds relevant. So it feels like you're almost going to be building for one or the other form, which I guess mythical champions cannot be so OP that they just ruin the game. There's got to be some sort of counterbalance. But one of the things I've fed back is I wish we could have a different gear set for different forms. Almost like you're equipping 2 lots of gear to these champions so that both of the forms make some sense. And equally, it wouldn't be a bad thing to have different masteries for different forms because they're just going to play so differently. You know, if you think about this one here in particular, in the initial form, you've got someone who's doing like AoE damage, bit of cleansing, turn me to fill. You don't want an incredibly fast turn me to fill type of stuff going on for this. This is a great kind of like upgraded Arbiter, I guess, in terms of turn me to fill plus increased accuracy. It's insane. But on the second form, I don't know if you would want the same because you're looking for more like accuracy build, you know, probably tanky stats because it's a taunt champion. Her damage is based off of HP at this point. So it feels like the build would need to be quite different, honestly. And trying to do both is hard. You're trying to have an incredibly fast champion, you know, setting up your increase attack, increase accuracy in the arena. It's not going to be the same sort of gear set as if you were trying to be the kind of like taunt champion, you know. So it's just very different, which makes it quite tough to do. Now, in terms of booking here, most of the skills are looking at 1 or 2 books, I guess. So you've got like 5 here versus, and another 5. So like 10 of these big boy books. On the test server, they've given us enough books to book them in full. I guess tonight, we'll do some testing on the test server on stream where we look at people booked versus unbooked. Because I feel like the books are going to be very much down to whether you're going to buy them or not. Got Frolni here, the Mechanist. So again, HP based. I did think he was going to come in with like Mountain King style health, 30,000 odd health. His stats, you know, they said their stats are going to be high. They don't feel that high. They don't feel that high. They also said that they would have a kind of inbuilt ignore resistance type of thing, which I'm not seeing anywhere in terms of stats or anything. So I don't know if it's going to end up coming in here as like an area bonus or we'll see it here somewhere. Or I don't know how it's going to work. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all right now anywhere in stats. But yeah, his stats are not that crazy. He's an HP-based champion in his kind of original form. Very Mountain King style. Single target attacks. But he's got an AoE attack one here. Damage of it still increases by 30% if his health is higher than the enemies. That's a PvP still, because bosses, you're never going to be doing that. Even waves of enemies, you're never going to be doing that. And yeah, I thought he was going to be coming in with like 30k health, but he's not. So then when we look at his second form, he does become a pretty defensive monster. Like this is very high. I do like this change of skin, honestly. Look at that axe. Very cool. Very cool. And then all of his damage becomes based off of defense. In this form, you would expect him to hit like an absolute truck, but so far from what I'm seeing, it's not really that. It's not really doing that. The only one really that is coming out as crazy right now for some sort of damage is Gharol here. I'm looking forward to doing some maximum damage stuff with Gharol. Damn, that is a chilly outfit. That is a chilly outfit you've got going on there. We miss. In the normal form, though, again, HP based. Yeah, so the normal form, which is a kind of like provoke tank form, HP based, ally protect, defending your team. When she flips, she becomes this absolute beast damage dealer. So I guess in terms of AI, I think most people would build her like this, honestly, because this is now where we get to some of the fun. This is probably the most fun we're going to have in a build tonight. Damage of the skill increases by 10% for each buff and ignores 30% of the target's defense, and an inbuilt Leoria style do more damage as you lose health type of thing. So that skill is going to be nutty. This is going to be a nutty skill, probably the hardest hitting skill in the game, I think. But we can test it. Look at this. Look at this maul. Damn, that is nice work. That is some nice work right there. But yeah, this is going to be probably the craziest damage dealing change that we see, which we will test out tonight. What I'm interested to see actually is, do we have already in AI settings anything to do with Metamorph? So if we was to put her in, so I can open with Metamorph and then go straight into open with this skill. So I think what would happen there, I don't know if that's going to work as open. I might need to go open first. Again, we'll test this stuff, but I can at least set the AI to say, change form straight away. We get an extra turn straight away. Extra turn stuff, though, does make turn meter ticks happen. So there's going to be some funky stuff going on here. Like if you do it in Clan Boss, the Metamorph stuff, you can massively like diminish your or mess up your speed tunes. It does tell us here like the base form versus the alt form stats. Like this is crazy. So it's an attack-based champion. Is her base attack 2.3k? Or does she get something silly going on when she twists? Attacked. Whatever attack. No. Why has it gone up so much? 2,300. Again, we will be testing this stuff out tonight on stream, but that seems nuts. Second form is 1,600, so it is very high. I don't know why it was showing. Maybe that's a bug, or maybe I've got something going on there. I don't know what was driving that. I don't know what's driving that extra attack. But 1,600 as a base, I think that's the highest in the game. Certainly one of them. She's still got, in that form, though, pretty solid defense, honestly. Not crazy HP, but not terrible. So, yeah, in this damaging form, we're going to see some crazy stuff. Now, she doesn't have, like, an inbuilt unkillable, like Leorius, yeah? And there is affinity stuff to worry about. So, again, going to be crazy damage, but maybe not totally OP. I guess let me know what you think on that. The other thing to be aware of is form changing will burn buffs. Yeah, so if you've got a champion and you've buffed them up with increased attack, whatever, you know, all of the juicy stuff, the form change is going to burn buffs, which means that they're going to run through their buffs much quicker than anyone else. So it's just, again, something to be aware of. Again, Deadwood had a great idea in the content creator chat to add something to the Metamorph skill that also increases the duration of all buffs by a turn. so that you don't just burn through all of your buffs. But whether they change these things or not, we're not sure. Let's just check out the werewolf here. Sleek design, I like it. I like the mask type of feel. Nice. So we've got in Form 1 attack-based hero doing like some decent work. Form 2 proper change into. I'd say this one's actually. I mean, it's almost one of the. It feels similar to the first form, is what I'm trying to say. Like we can see there's a change, and obviously the claws are out. We're ready to do work. Still attack-based. AoE A1. Looking forward to seeing how hard that hits for. Passive increases champions' attack and crit damage whilst in their alternate form. So we've got 1652. So the passive should boost our attack anyway. Interesting stuff. Look, we'll be testing some of this out. And this is the one I was actually sent through the post to kind of like give me the teaser. I'd say he's got one of the best form changes, which makes a massive difference to your team. So it's like, I'm in there, I'm doing work, I'm doing damage, I'm busting heads. My whole team die, and I basically get forced into a turn. I get forced into the metamorph. So with this one, about to be killed by a fatal hit, blocks incoming damage, puts block damage on himself. This is where the kind of problem lies, because instantly metamorphs and the block damage disappears. So again, that point Deadwood made around, I mean, either this should go on for 2 turns, or maybe it's only meant to block that initial fatal hit. I'm not sure really. But basically what he does is he flips into the winged Crusader, and at this point, he's then got the full team revive, and he puts block damage on the rest of the team, and then he's exposed. But he's basically bringing the whole team back to life after death. But again, what I will say is, Udo's got a skill like this, not as crazy as this, but a bit like this. And it's not always easy to be the only one left alive. Yeah, I use Udo in my Hydra team. I have to assume that I do not have a revive in Udo, because it's not easy to make sure that Udo's the only one alive. And more often than not, that's not the case. 3 of a team of 5 die or something like that. So it's not the easiest to activate these type of things. So on paper, it sounds absolutely OP, but in reality, it's actually not as crazy as it sounds. But I do like this good revive with good turn meter, and everyone's got block damage. And then, as he gets more into the game, he's basically then becoming your kind of like healer, cleanser, all that type of stuff. Almost becomes a Duchess in this form. Basically, almost like Duchess mixed with Cardiel, which is pretty nutty, honestly. So, yeah, pretty nuts. But look, that's a bit of an introduction to it. As I say, we're going to be streaming tonight, 8 p.m. UK, which is, what's that? It's 7 p.m. UTC. I think it's like 3 p.m. somewhere in the States, whatever. But yeah, come and join us. We'll have a bit of a blast tonight. But there you go. What do you think? OP or not? I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.